I was just like,
this summer's been a crazy summer for digital marketing as a whole. Some of the tactics that we've had to deploy on campaigns have changed quite drastically. As we see things start working in certain areas, we want to double down on what's working. And traditionally speaking, we talked a lot about the funnel. First of all, I'm going to digress for 1 second here. I hate the word funnel. I'm starting to really hate funnel because it's not a sales funnel. It's a sales filter. You're filtering people out that are not ideal customers as they go through that buyer journey. A funnel, everything gets through a funnel, right? Things don't get stopped in a funnel. It gets through the funnel, but it's not really a good term, I think. I think filter is the right term. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more. And I'm telling you, when I first heard that analogy or the way that it was explained, I was just like, wow. I was just in shock. I couldn't agree more, because here's the thing. You're going to generate leads, and they're not all going to get through to the final stage, which is buying your product or your service or signing up for your course or whatever it might be. So a filter is a perfect way to describe it.
100%. And the way we've been directing traffic historically through our filter is through this kind of journey of awareness, throwing awareness ads to people, and a typical awareness ad could be like a do-it-yourself tip, some sort of a blog post, something that provides value to the user, and then driving that user down to the consideration stage where, we get them to click on content and visit the website. So we, put something in the messaging that's a little more enticing that gets them to click over to the content. And then lastly, it's the conversion, which is the bottom of funnel or bottom of filter, which is basically people that have landed on your page, spent time on your page, and then getting them to convert or take that action that you want them to take. Well, recently, we've noticed things have changed. And what is actually working well in the last couple months has been selling to cold traffic, going direct to cold traffic and asking cold traffic to become a lead. Now, there could be so many reasons why this is happening. August apparently has been a terrible month across the board for most Facebook marketers, okay, in terms of results. Okay, so I'm starting to think now, I'm thinking that, the way the algorithm may be changing is Facebook just wants to get that user to that end result. A lot of the fluff that happens throughout this kind of a sales filter is just fluff. And I think a lot of users are now becoming numb to it. And maybe they're not taking the actions because they know they're entering somebody's sales funnel, AKA filter. You know what I mean? So, and again, I'm just guessing here that this is maybe the way the algorithm is now working. But from our own experience, we're running straight up cold ads to a cold audience, asking them to fill in their contact information on Facebook. It's an on Facebook lead form that they're filling out, which is very easy to fill. It's a click. All your information is auto submitted to Facebook. So it's very easy for somebody to become a lead. We're getting leads anywhere from $15 all the way up to $50. And the beauty thing is this, is if you're only able to spend $50 for a lead because that's what it's worth for you and your business, you can tell Facebook to cap it. Just put a bid cap on those leads coming in. If you don't want to spend $100 or $200 per lead, you can do that. If your bid's too low, Facebook's just not going to give you the traffic. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed we're getting results on demand. We're getting on demand. We actually, it's almost like a tap. We get to a point where we're getting too many leads that we can't even follow up with them. We're just going to shut off the tap until we're ready to turn it back on again. And this has been working really well for us as well as our clients. So Dave, you have, I mean, maybe you can touch on what you've seen as well in that regard.
Yeah. So I agree with everything you've said. Absolutely. 100%. I think that, the consumer, the buyer, the user on social media, over time, they have gotten smarter the same way that we as marketers have gotten smarter. They've picked up on our tactics. They've picked up on the way that we set up our ads and the way that we funnel or filter them through the buying process. And I think now what's happening, and there's a whole theory of what might be happening here, in my opinion. And one thing is that they're getting smarter. Two is with COVID and everything else going on, people just have maybe less patience, and so they know what they want and they know what they don't want, and they don't want anything to do with what they don't want, and they're going to make a decision pretty quickly on what they do. And so yes, cold ads are working so incredible right now, just going direct to sale, not really worrying too much about the filtering process. And it's funny because as we're seeing this theory or seeing this progress, I'm also getting the same sort of feedback from the clients that we work with who are saying to me, listen, I understand the filtering process and the way that you set up ads on Facebook and why we need to, hit a cold audience and then warm them up so that we can retarget them with an offer or something like this. They understand it, but at the end of the day, they just said to me, I just want you to be straightforward. I want you to go right in for the sale. I want you to tell them what it is I'm selling or what it is I'm offering. And if they're interested, they're going to buy, they're going to submit a contact form. And if they're not going to. So it's kind of funny that we've had this theory and we've had this thought and we've been seeing it. But then at the same time, we're also getting the clients just requesting it. And they aren't necessarily aware of that's actually what's happening.
Yeah, the intricacies of it, and it does make a lot of sense. Like retargeting in the future, it's always going to be prevalent because I do think that it's important to retarget, important to continue to stay top of mind with those people that are interested. But on the same token, it's like if you're putting your ad in front of people too many times, people are going to start hiding it. And people know to hit those 3 buttons in the top right-hand corner of an ad to be able to hide it. And what happens is when somebody hides your ad, it tells Facebook this is not a good ad. It's a bad user experience, and your costs naturally go up. Yeah. So I with retargeting, like I said, I don't think it's going to go away because it does further qualify people. And I truly believe that retargeting does generate a better quality lead rather than when you're just going for mass volume of leads at a cold audience. But I think it's worth noting or worth trying and testing your offer towards that cold audience to see what kinds of feedback you get. And it's a very simple ad that we're running. So simple. One ad. Yeah. One ad. Here are the benefits of what we do. We can do SEO. We had an SEO ad running and a social ad running. Mm-hmm. And it's basically like, here are the points on what we do and what we can do for you. You want to book a consultation? Boom, click that button. People click that button. We have it all set up so the lead comes in, and I think it is important to note because a lot of people do get frustrated with Facebook leads being quote unquote shitty leads. Yeah. They can be. Leads on Facebook more often than any other platform are like soup, and nobody likes cold soup. So if a lead does come in through Facebook, if you have the ability to hit them up within 5 minutes, you have a pretty decent chance at closing. To change gears here, we're actually moving to a new office in the coming weeks, which is super exciting. We're going to miss Rockwood a bit. We are right next to the world's greatest coffee, so we're probably going to miss that. But we're actually moving to a space, for those not familiar with the area, on College Avenue in Guelph. So we're actually going to be right across the street from the University of Guelph, which is a super vibrant community. It's better for our business, better for where we want to be. Plus, we're going to have our own podcast studio.
That is so exciting. Yeah, the whole thing is exciting, but my dream is to one day have a really awesome studio like Joe Rogan has. So one day, hopefully we'll have something set up like that.
Yeah, I think it might be difficult to do that in the 7x7 box that we're going to be in, but we can work our way towards that. Smash down some walls,
Yeah, we'll work towards it for sure.
Subscribe, tell all your friends, tell your mom, tell your sister, invite the family. Check out the Merge Marketing Podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.